Games Workshop's Basement, hosted by John Quennell, Danny McDevitt, Val Heffelfinger. I'm Dickie, and it's Grim After Dark.
Guys, it is a new personal record. We're only 24 hours and 6 minutes late for the show, but welcome along anyway. Welcome to Grim After Dark, Warhammer 40K's only late night show for some reason. My name is John, and I am poorly lit but ready to misinform and annoy and talk about the goings on in the world of Warhammer of the last week. It's a task so massive, I cannot do it alone. And that's why I wanted to welcome our amazing, humble, and award-winning co-hosts. Starting up is my good friend. He brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. He's played some games. He's not going to talk about them. You don't get that. It's Danny McDevitt.
Oh, hey, John. Nice to see you there. It's a surprise. Hey, how's it going this week? Are you doing pretty good?
It's going good. You didn't know we were recording on Tuesday. We just happened to have a camera going at your desk at all times. So
it's kind of disconcerting. I really feel bad signing that contract like that. It's
well, you're an FLG affiliate now, sir. You got to be ready to go at any time.
Look, and I'm willing to bear it all as an affiliate, as seen by when you guys are as seen when you guys film my personal time.
Yeah, for sure. No such thing as personal time. Also joining us in the show is our resident comedy resident. It's an all-around fantasy enthusiast. It's Val Heffelfinger, everybody. He's back on the show. He doesn't get an intro. His TV show just appears.
Resident comedy resident. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Good. That's
you know,
good.
like
There's some redundancy there.
Like the Colorado River. John running dry tonight, everybody.
Oh, wow.
It's a sore spot for people in 6 states and a good spot for someone.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why this is top of mind. I mean, it's a Warhammer 40K podcast, so I mean, it's
sure.
Bleak, it's grim, it's dark. Let's go with it,
brother.
But how
we
is
got
it,
a Shatterpoint segment?
How is it that Biden winds up being the guy to pull out of Afghanistan and cut everyone off from the Colorado River? Like, I mean, that's two real. That's holding the bag in two real awful things. I don't know.
If I could just quote here real quick. Here's the deal, pal. And then
I mean, you do look like Joe.
Racism.
Listen here, Jack.
Listen here, Jack.
Let's do a little Biden role play. Both you and I. Let's go. We got our glasses on.
Okay, ready, quick. Huh?
What?
What?
No, that's mean to Uncle Joe. That's mean to Uncle Joe.
Oh, please don't kick me out of the country, Daddy Joe. I want to stay.
Anywho, I'm feeling a little exposed all of a sudden. But yes, how are things with you guys? Have you been doing Warhammer stuff?
Dude, no. We're going to talk about this in a little bit here, but we got that dead addition syndrome. Well, Danny has. We can't really say.
Welcome. The water's warm. I hope you're enjoying it.
Well, to be fair, Val, you've had it for 8 years for Old World. We've only had it for about a couple of weeks since the announcement of the new edition. By the way, you do have to play 10th edition. Dickie will be making you play 10th edition.
Yep.
We would cut to the studio right now, but he told us not to do that. And I don't know how much power we have over him verbally, so he probably wouldn't even if we asked. Virtually none. Oh, cool. He does cut to the studio. He's just not there. His schedule real tight. Monday, 7 to 10 p.m. Alaska time. Tuesday, not available.
I legitimately have a computer standing by for him to use whenever he wants, and he continues to use just like a laptop, I think powered by one of those desktop pedal things that you put underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm currently
it's touch and go. I can't believe the old girl's continuing to put up with all this shit.
She's a rock star. Yeah.
I'm currently making a new widescreen video that's going to legitimately just melt his computer into a small pile of slag.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah. This is what I do. It's going to be the Jason Bateman clips. Anyway, guys, there is a new edition of 40K coming, which we're all very excited about. We're actually going to talk about it a little bit. Danny, even Val, these were previewed yesterday. A brand new Tyranid unit. We have Meg Ryan's Leakers, which looks surprisingly like Lictors.
That looks like a Lictor.
What are they actually called? Is that a joke? I don't get it.
Their official name is Von Ryan's Leapers.
Aha. Von
like
Ryan's
Ragline.
Leapers.
Von Ryan's Leapers is the new name for those.
So are the
That's a
Tyranids
callback.
just being named from the perspective of Imperial Guardsmen who are about to get eaten by them?
Sort of. There's some precedent. This is
Yeah.
the unit that's existed previously in the lore, but just in passing references to it. Usually it's associated with gaunts with leaping. But it looks like they've decided to upsize these gaunts and make them lictor sized and put them in a unit.
Yeah, because that is a 40 mil base run, so they are pretty much kind of lictor size there, which is kind of neat. What are your thoughts about these units, Danny? A unit of 3?
Cool.
Where does this leave lictors?
In units of 1, probably.
Maybe it's a multi-kit. Maybe it's a multi-kit.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, you piece of shit. Oh my god. You did that on purpose.
Expect a lot more of those tonight.
Oh, terrible. And then also announced today, Danny, the classic, you know it, you love it. The rule is returning. Characters are joining units again.
I don't know how I feel about it yet. I need to see it in practice. So if I'm being quite honest,
Please.
it's probably fine in principle. But I do have reservations about Space Marines immediately getting to break this rule and have 2 characters join the same unit. I don't really care for that very much.
Why?
But we'll see how it turns out.
What could go wrong, Danny? What could go wrong? What's happened before when
guess
things
we'll
are
see.
like this?
It sounds to me though, because characters have to join units during deployment. Once your unit is dead, that's it. You're stuck there in the open. You can't join other units. So I suspect it's going to be kind of easier to kill characters in a way.
Or is it going to be a unit turning into a quasi rhino where you start deployed inside of a unit, but then you can leave and join other units as the battle progresses?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not, though, is what it sounds like from the article.
But I don't read. I get paid to make snap judgments based on headlines, and then you tell me I'm wrong. That's like the format for 2 years now. Val, have you been keeping up with the 10th edition hype? Or have you been reading kind of any of the articles that are out there for new 40K?
Absolutely not.
No.
But I mean, I've been following along. I'm still in a few chats with people who are with it. I mean, no secret discords or anything like that. But definitely a few good chats that I have with former teammates. And
Brother, if you see the membership numbers and subscriber rate of our Patreon, then our Discord, Grimcord, is technically a secret Discord.
It's pretty exclusive. It's pretty exclusive.
GrimAfterDark.com. Join the exclusive club, or don't, whatever.
Whatever.
Club for men.
I got lots of hairs in here.
I don't.
Yeah, you're hanging in there. I mean, we're all clinging to some hairlines, but I mean, none of us have to sell a large portion of PayPal in order to have our hair grow back or anything like that.
That's good.
But look, what I was trying to say is, I've sort of been absentmindedly following. I saw that characters could join units, and I was like, oh, I saw this movie 5 years ago. So, cool. I'm sure nothing will go wrong, and that they've learned from the last time they did this.
Does the fact that they're going back to rules that were in effect the last time you actually played Warhammer entice you to play this edition more?
I was a passionate fan of 8th edition 40K, for the record. And I played even a little bit of 9th edition 40K until the release of that farce of an Orc Codex. That would be about as far as I went. Also, I was falling in love with fantasy all over again for the first time. So will this entice me back? I have no idea. We'll see. Probably not.
Remains to be
Oh
seen.
well, it's a stretch goal for the channel, so I mean it will. So you took the week off. You're like, so we made that goal for you.
Yeah,
But
you
that's
brought
okay.
in the philosopher guy. You brought in the chemist or the doctor with the numbers. You guys were clearly going to want to talk about actual Warhammer stuff, so I sat around and
You
did
took a
nothing.
personal day.
Did we actually talk about Warhammer at all last week? I don't think we talked
only
about
slightly.
stats.
Not really.
Maybe. I don't even remember. It's so
It was a long
ago.
time ago, John. It was
It's
over
a long
week
time ago. Yeah, if you guys think we remember anything past the ending of a sentence, then you're wrong.
Real goldfish hours over here.
Danny, you shared this next one here with me in the chat. I got a little confused. I think it's my foreignness to understanding, but go ahead, describe to the audio listener exactly what we're looking at here.
Oh, okay. So this is like maximum cringe here, guys. So this is a custom emblazoned assault rifle here with Dark Angels style ornamentation. It says tomorrow for repent for tomorrow you die, and there's the keys on there and the black and red hex and then the shell casing. Oh my god.
Now is that America's national gun, the AR-15? What kind of
be? I don't know. I don't want
to
to identify it incorrectly.
That's true. I've also made the mistake of referring to rifles that aren't assault rifles as assault rifles. And there's a lot of like the fetishism
you're right.
For the guns and the rifles and the things that shoot the bullets. I think that's as broad as I need to go without putting it in the wrong category. It's very easy to do that.
Cool that it's not anymore. That's the best way to describe it.
I was gonna say, would a gun enthusiast be more offended that you called it an assault rifle, or if you called it a silly little tickle cannon? Like which one would offend them more?
I don't know. Probably the assault rifle. Actually, it depends if it isn't. It's probably not technically.
I mean, a silly tickle cannon. That sounds like something a gun lover might call their loving gun.
That's true. Yes, the gun.
Silly tickle cannon. Ooh.
Guys, I got into a heated debate on Reddit with someone.
Why?
Not on Reddit.
Told me my opinion was wrong, but I want to go to the initial post here and kind of get your thoughts on it. The initial post here was, please be nice to your local Warhammer manager. I manage a Warhammer store. The new edition is coming soon, and it's been neat to hear people talk about the stuff they're excited about. It hasn't been awesome to watch people have full-blown meltdowns and then act like any change they hate is directly my fault. As a quick PSA, please remember we're human too, and it's just a game. Now, Danny, you have actual experience working in a shop that sells Warhammer.
That's true.
What's it like working in a hobby shop?
Well, I'm not a Warhammer store manager, so I assume it's like it's probably worse for them.
So
like,
bad.
I actually blame them for things that happen.
Can't imagine a worse shop.
But I've definitely gotten in some very heated disagreements with customers in the past, primarily over the day that sales end and things like that. That's when people get real upset, and then also the day after Christmas, which is actually my favorite day to work. I deny so many refunds, man. It's freaking great. Anyway,
Daddy's personal enjoyment is linked directly to how much misery he can inflict on others.
The day after Christmas.
He directly refused so many Tomb King's refunds at his hobby shop, but did offer to buy them for pennies on the dollar.
Mostly it was airplanes that people crashed into the ground, like RC airplanes. But
I got an RC helicopter for Christmas, and it was like, this is like before drones. And I was like, oh, wicked! I'm gonna go fly my RC helicopter for 5 seconds, and it was over. Like that's how long it took. Immediate crash. Like no hope in hell.
Did you try and bring it back? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was fucked. Like it was complete. It was just get fucked. Like it was over. So RC helicopters, an impossible dream. But I just want to say this, guys, that being a Warhammer store manager is like all of the downsides of working in retail with none of the perks, including coworkers.
That's true.
Anymore.
A Warhammer store manager. That's impressive. So he's got a team. No, he does not have a team. He has a sign that says, be back in 15 minutes while I cry in my car. So,
or take a shit.
Or take a dump. I don't understand. Like pandemic happened, right? And like retail workers, apparently were like, hey, wait a minute, I'm a human being. I should frontline workers, demanded some things like fucking Starbucks is trying to unionize. They have benefits. So being a GW store manager is somehow, maybe they're just so browbeaten that they all haven't quite quit. Maybe because they're just worried about getting loud fired. and that's what
I think
happens.
I think it's sort of like the thing where companies, this is a problem with working or doing something that's a hobby or something you enjoy, is like employers will absolutely use that against you. Be like, oh, I'm going to pay you 20% under the going rate, but Warhammer. And it's like, yeah, let's go. Who needs a mortgage? But anyway, the response to this I took umbrage with was this guy here who said, my local Warhammer official store banned me after I got into a rules disagreement with one of the regulars and accused them of cheating. All because they wouldn't accept Battlescribe or Wahapedia as a rules source, and the regular refused to check or let me check his codex. So I get your sentiment as a general rule, but unfortunately, my own local manager gets none of my respect.
What a shitty situation, man. What is that? Like, what is that? That was like, are they 12? That's possible.
I mean,
maybe it's possible. It is possible. I mean, unlikely. Unlikely that they're 12.
I think I responded with, I am shocked that the local manager of the official Warhammer store banned you for trying to use Wahapedia and Battlescribe in the store he sells books at.
Okay, sure, but then refusing to let someone refer to their book.
Well, that was
while calling them a cheater. That. No, you're cheating. Okay, I'll show it to you in your book. No, you're cheating. Like, give me a break. Kiss my ass.
No, his opponent wouldn't let him look at his codex.
I know.
So
that's
like,
absurd.
you're cheating, and the guy's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, look, here it says in Wahapedia. No, man, I'm not accepting that as a valid source. Well, let me look in your codex then. No, you can't look at my codex. I refuse to let you.
Kiss my ass. That is like a pack your things up and leave scenario for me. It's goodbye. For sure. Goodbye.
Well,
yeah.
He did respond to my quote terrible take by saying, I only tried to use them after the regular refused to provide a codex when I questioned their rule that I knew was wrong. It's almost like I didn't have any other way to look at the rules. Shocking. Someone who's been in an official Warhammer store, by the way, they will absolutely sell you a way to look at those rules like that.
If they have it in print.
That's true. That's true. They said, on a side note, wasn't banned for the use of the apps. The manager just warned me not to use them in store. I was banned for continuing the disagreement and refusing to let it go. This was for an official contest game the store was running. I wasn't going to drop it. Guys, what are your thoughts on the situation now?
What the fuck is an official contest game? What does that mean? Like, are we talking?
I think it means like the Thursday night open gaming at a Warhammer store.
Things got contentions. I think it's still bullshit. I don't know. I'm still upset by this story, and I side with OP on this one.
What I think here, and here's my response, which was again, he called it an incredibly shitty take. So Danny, you're going to agree with him on this one here.
All right.
But I said that, right or wrong, when you're playing in someone's tournament, you have to abide by the tournament organizer's interpretation of the rules. Even if they're wrong or they're shitty, like it's their house and they're telling you how to play.
But am I misunderstanding that they didn't make a ruling? That like they refused to like open the book and rule? And he was the one disagreeing?
The store manager ruled in favor of his opponent. And the guy's like, I know you guys are both wrong. Okay. I'm not dropping this. And then, of course, he wasn't dropping it because it was an official contest game. But at the same time, he was actually completely banned from the store. Which I'm not sure how that affected his standing in the official contest game.
I think he was probably disqualified from the official contest game, but I'm not sure what the rules are for official contest games at Games Workshop.
Radio Free Armageddon is saying, was this worth a $30 gift certificate from an SRS?
Look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to put it this way. Sometimes you got to come out of the dugout. You got to kick some dirt, and you got to bump some chests. If that gets you tossed, it gets you tossed. But I mean, you're not going to take that shit sitting down. I mean, if you know that if the fix is in, point. Like, I mean, sometimes you got to. I mean. Look, I mean, maybe it's fair that he got tossed, but I don't think he's wrong for being annoyed by this bullshit situation.
It's fair to be annoyed, but Danny, okay, you are a passionate gamer, a passionate man.
Yep.
If this was you in this situation where you're playing me, I'm like all of my knights absolutely have a 5+, feel no pain, and you're like, bullshit, they do not. And the store manager's like, yeah, they do. Just deal with it. What do you do in that situation?
Sometimes, John, you just got to pop that shirt off, reveal your American flag, white
AR-15.
and you got to say these colors don't run. Show me in the codex where it says that, and like that's what you got to do. Sometimes you just got to pop that top off, John.
Top.
What are your thoughts on kind of like the role? So like obviously the role of judges, like passive judging, and more and more we're seeing kind of nowadays is active judging based on stream feedback. What are your guys' thoughts on the interaction with judges and TOs and how players should properly interact when maybe they don't agree with rulings?
Well, you got to be respectful but firm. That. You know what? Really, that's just good life advice. Be respectful but firm. I think that applies in a ton of different scenarios. Whether it's, you're pleading a case in court, you're asking for a raise from your boss, or you're approaching a love interest. Really just,
you got to be firm for that one,
but polite.
It's harder to be firm after 40.
Rock hard,
but it's not harder to be respectful.
It's important to be respectful. Sometimes you got to take a pill for the other half, and that's okay.
A respect pill.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
I would say,
sorry, please.
I would say that it does take a bit of a skill to know how far you can argue a given point. And yes, in a tournament scenario, sure, that's a little bit different. I mean, like the store manager's not wearing stripes. He just probably came over and was like, you can't use WAPD in my store because I'm a whelp of a human being and my spirit is broken. And then they continue to have
like a GW
the natural loners that are Games Workshop managers. That's really what they...
It's a burden they must pay by themselves.
You guys finish this up in the parking lot. I got to take a shit. Okay, guys?
I'll be back in 15.
I'll be back in 15. But yeah, like a tournament scenario, a ruling will often be a ruling, but again, you're going to feel that out. And you, again, might get carded if you push it too far. I mean, depending on what the event is. And that's okay. I think that, again, that's within the grounds. Is it going to get you anything? You're going to have to fucking judge that one. In general, I mean, based on what I understand of a lot of judging spines in a lot of Warhammer events, there seems to be a lot of good reason to argue your point, in the sense that there aren't a lot of judges that are going to stand up and ban you from the store. So if you're faced with what you think is bullshit, I think you argue your point to a point, and then it's up to the other people to either ask you to chill out, leave, or carry on with your game.
Yeah.
It would be weird in an LVO. I was going to say it would be weird in an LVO kind of scenario to have like one of the TFG radio guys or kind of one of the main judges being like, you're banned from the casino, please leave. Like I wouldn't take that.
I don't think that
they don't have that power.
I don't think that's in their granted power.
They could toss you.
Casino.
Well, not the casino. They could toss you.
If they could try though, like if we could like bribe one of them to try and ban one of our friends from the casino to see how they react.
Like bribe them to do that. I think that's actually pretty smart.
That's pretty smart. We're going to do that. It's almost as good as our official competitive judging table that our competitive tactics.
Let's see if we can get him to kick out Seth.
I got him, Seth. Yeah, like Seth is.
Seth's an insider now. I don't know if I think Seth's the other guy.
I think that makes it extra funny.
If Seth's on the payroll, he can't be trusted anymore.
Yeah, believe me, I'll flip him $20. That's more than they're making from FLG. I'll tell you that right now.
That might be true.
Hey, but you know who can make? You know who can make a whole ton of savings from Frontline Gaming is you, our listener. If you go to frontlinegaming.org, get all your products 15% off. So tell them Grim sent you, and they'll be like, "This code doesn't work." And then anyway,
this code is expired.
This code is expired, but we are working with them to bring you the highest quality, lowest resolution gaming mats and objective markers. So when you roll up to the gaming table, people can be like, "What's that?" You can be like, "Nothing."
That's what I want all my opponents to say. What is that?
What's that?
I think I said in like another Discord today that the Venn diagram of Warhammer players and people with the podcast is just a perfect circle. Like Everyone has it. Is the affiliate link in the description of this stream? God, I hope so.
Maybe.
Anyway, maybe.
It's probably at grimafterdark.com.
Probably,
Is it?
hopefully. I said
I
I would do
into
it weeks
this.
ago. Probably not. But anyway, guys, Val, Danny, you guys are famous for hijacking the show to talk about square bases and your love of Warhammer Fantasy. So it's my turn, damn it, as we bring up this next slide here that shows you what I'm most excited about right now. Star Wars Shatterpoint. And just as a little aside before we get started, this will not be in any way talking about Rogue One or my feelings of movies. This is purely going to be discussing a game system.
That was a sore spot for sure.
You and I
Please
are
keep
both very
track
excited about.
of- if you're here, please keep track of the number of viewers that we have before we started talking about Star Wars.
Do we have
What
do we
a
have viewers
steep
to set a baseline?
Steve dive. All right, we went from 2-1. Thanks for staying, Kelsey. So anyway, Danny, Shatterpoint. It's a new skirmish game coming from Atomic Mass Games. Tell me a little bit about it from sort of what you know so far.
All right. So imagine that you're watching a kid's cartoon show on Saturday morning, but you're an adult and
Question.
you're sort
It's
of
actually
hungover.
it's Monday or Tuesday. It's like midnight, and I'm pretty trashed, but I can still watch the
Oh,
kid show.
great. Monday or Tuesday night when you're trashed during the week and you're watching
Yeah.
some kid's cartoon show. And
Sure, my life
it's
is
a
great.
game like that.
My life is great. Cool. Yeah. It's a little skirmish one. Like for me, what I think, I don't know about you, Danny, but like to me, my interest in this and like my huge kind of like enthusiasm for Shatterpoint as a game.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of like chalking up to an end of an edition lull for Warhammer because personally, I'm finding it super hard to find anything to be excited about Warhammer right now, apart from like the little daily drips. By the way, thanks for watching our Warhammer show. We're listening to a Warhammer podcast. But aside from sort of like the daily drips of 10th, I'm having a really hard time kind of getting G'd up for 40K right now. So what do you guys do in sort of those lulls of enthusiasm?
Well, I've been playing a lot of WAP lately, so
Yeah, baby.
yeah, that's been my kind of way. And then catching up, like trying to understand Shatterpoint's rules. So I've been doing that a lot. From the demos and stuff that they put on, they seem pretty good. It's really interesting scoring system. Like overall, miniatures seem great, and it seems like it's real action packed. I really like that part of it.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Val? How do you keep your hobby up? Because like I've seen pictures of you like doing fantasy hobby and getting ready kind of for 8th edition. Like I don't think it's mean to say that the fantasy right now is sort of a dead game before the old world. So how do you keep your enthusiasm up for a system that isn't supported?
Well, I just slowly make my way through every single army that exists for the game. Also I bully friends and acquaintances into playing it with me.
Because they're like, I don't have an army. You're like, I have every single one that exists for the game.
That's fine, baby. Just get in the van. No problem. So yeah, like I mean, it's interesting. I remember. I think one of the problems is that Games Workshop pours gasoline on the edition and then lights it all on fire and burns it right down on the ground. And that happened at the end of Fantasy. You had the End Times. It introduced all kinds of like wacky stuff. End of 7th edition, you had introduction of the original Primarchs. Ynnari first appear.
You had Ynnari, Gulliman, you had Call, like you had all of these people coming out.
The least wacky edition transition I can think of actually is the 8th to 9th edition transition. Like, but that's just because I think 8th was so friggin' good. Where it ended, and then the 9th edition itself was just like I think a good rephrasing, and like some good additions such as like terrain rules and stuff. Kind of take it for granted looking back, like how sort of bare bones certain aspects of 8th edition 40K were. But yeah, to answer your question, like during the end of what was it? I guess 7th, I got into Underworlds very briefly. Like I remember I bought a bunch of that stuff. Like they have like
I bought the entire first season and then played 3 games.
Yeah, 100%. Same. I thought it was everybody, I guess, did that. Like
did a lot of heresy at the end of 7th.
This is the thing is like Games Workshop's like got tons of good stuff. Like I mean, as much as I rag on them, I mean, like there's a reason why the guys who live in their cars still, manage one-person stores. And it's because they get probably like 10% off of the retail price, and it's a pretty good deal.
Oh my god, the discounts doubled in the past few years.
But yeah, there's just always something. Like, this is, I think, why it's also a really great thing for folks, who've got short attention spans. Ironically enough, is that there's always something that GW's got that's probably going to be of interest. And when the rat race slows down for a minute, it does give you a chance to go and look at, I wonder what's up with Kill Team. I wonder what's up with this stupid Star Wars game, or Crisis Protocol, or Warhammer Fantasy, or whatever, because
or this unopened copy of Harrowdeep.
Harrowdeep.
I swear I'm gonna get to at some point.
Dang.
Harrow. Yeah. That's it was just there. Or all of these issues of Imperium that I was gonna get so I could start a new army cheaply.
Wow.
And now
Lovely. Well, what are those?
Sort of.
What's Imperium?
So this
What is that?
Imperium is a weekly magazine that comes out.
Oh my!
It is a $14 an issue.
Good God!
And by the end of it, I'll probably save money. So one of the issues was $14. So one of the issues was $15, but came with 5 flayed ones, which is a $50-$60 value.
Pretty good
so
deal.
some ones are better than others.
They have a miniature subscription, but you can't buy their rules on a subscription model. That's amazing.
This one here, this has a Tech Priest Dominus for $15. This one has one of the little generators for $15. Then you have shitty issues where this one is just 2 pots of paint for $15.
Oh,
nice.
Those are bad ones.
it's probably worth it for $15 if you get 2 of them.
Well, nowadays, yeah, I know, right?
So
but yeah,
so you're just all in on Shatterpoint. That's how you're keeping yourself busy in the in between edition lull.
it's not even been released yet. I'm just consuming every single piece of Shatterpoint and Star Wars media available and getting really excited about a game I don't think I'll probably play all that much. But God, I hope I do. I really want to.
No, we're gonna play a bunch this summer.
Hell yeah. By the way, the slide we showed was Oops All Younglings Squad Pack. And it was just all of the children that were murdered by Anakin Skywalker. I just want to say, Atomic Mass Games, that is not an official packet. If you want to sponsor us or send our Shatterpoint podcast, Mob Rules, which has always been a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast, any free product to review, we would more than
box are
happily
you the
do
most
so.
excited about getting?
Right now, oh gosh, so there's the Ewok box,
Ewoks.
which I think we're both very excited for. But mainly from the initial release, the Hello There, the Obi-Wan Kenobi box, because Kenobi is my second favorite. Well, I find my favorite Jedi, because technically Ahsoka isn't a Jedi. Moving on, before we lose the 2 people who are watching. More Star Wars. As this guy came up here, it said, imagine if GW bought Lucasfilms. Brackets might be up for sale soon.
What?
Val, I default to you for finance questions here.
Yeah.
But I did a basic math on this. Games Workshop's annual profit is approximately a 40th of what Lucasfilms was bought for.
What was the Lucasfilm purchase price?
$4 billion.
$4 billion. So the market cap right now, so if you were to buy all the shares of Games Workshop right now, it's about $4 billion.
Cool. Okay.
So 1-to-1 trade then?
No,
So it would be it sounds like more of a merger scenario to me. But
Yeah, that sounds right.
Do you think people overestimate Warhammer's value or standing within sort of nerd culture?
I think it's wildly underutilized and underestimated.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
What,
I think
What about you, Danny? Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know. It depends on the person. I think in general, there's probably people think that it might be people who are in the hobby probably think it's bigger than it is. But it's probably bigger. It's probably bigger than a lot of people who are naysayers would want it to be. Like, it's bigger than that. If that makes sense.
Who's the they trying to keep Warhammer down? I want to know who that cabal is. Is it just the C-suite of GW? Like,
I think there's a lot of
Games-
people who think, oh yeah, nobody plays Warhammer. Like that's a silly little game.
It is super.
Games Workshop's rules team.
This is super dumb. Like, I mean, I do say, like, anyone who it seems to me that, like, playing Warhammer and being into this, it just seems insane And I think that's ultimately what anyone who looks at it for a second would think. And because often it leads with the tabletop game and the hobby and like the incredible amount of work it takes to like even participate in this game a little bit, instead of with the very like, I don't know, I just endlessly deep trove of like IP and stories and science fiction and fantasy and all kinds of stuff. It's all very pulpy. It's all to me incredibly marketable.
Yeah.
You know, it's they're like people talk about like scoff at Warhammer about because it's derivative as if that's a bad thing somehow. You know, like that, like it is a, you know, it's I don't know, just a mashup of all of your favorite tropes. And then also with some creativity added to it. I mean, as much as I love to be like snide and like rag on shit about this, like it would the second it gets its hooks into you, for the most part, I'd like the conversion rate's pretty intense about like how deep people will go on this. And like the ocean is very deep and you can go very far with it. So to me, I think if anything, I've often felt as though that like the people who, I mean, this may be changing now, obviously, with the still not signed Amazon deal and like more licensing opportunities in video games and the more larger prevalence of like Black Library novels and all that kind of stuff. So like all that stuff is starting to change, but you know, like I think ultimately the first thought is this is so silly and unlikely. How could anyone be into this, let alone be like prevalent in popular culture? And I think that keeps it down, is because people assume that it's too ridiculous. Even though to me, observing it for like the last 8 years, it's blown through every light and intersection and milestone, and like it couldn't possibly get bigger than this. There couldn't be more people interested than it is right now, and it just keeps going. So I don't see why, you know, elements of it would ever have to stop.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So say if this crazy deal does go down, GW buys Lucasfilms, what do you think happens? Pretend.
Well, I mean,
what do you
obviously get the
think
Star Wars 40K mashup game that we've always wanted.
Have we?
Could you
Okay,
imagine
we
the
gotta look at-
combination of those fandoms, John? It's just like,
Oh God, it would just be like it'd be like sending a nuclear bomb to a place where you chemically like tried to kill the population.
it's like setting off a nuke in
around.
Yucca Mountain, like, and then also, there's a bunch of terrible waste in there. Yeah, it'd be real bad.
Yeah, kind of along that though. If we were to combine those fandoms, if you had to cross over a Star Wars thing into the Warhammer universe, what would it be?
The cinematic brilliance of Rogue One, obviously. I'd love to see.
Oh no!
I'd love to see a Star Wars, a 40K movie be shot with the vision and you know, scope that we saw with Rogue One.
But Val, we already have
especially.
Ultramarine,
Which is awesome. I'm more of like an early like 90s Games Workshop trade show like film fan. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those. Those are pretty awesome.
They're like the live action one where it's the guy in the really cool suit in like a corridor. Yeah, those were really cool.
Standing.
What about you, Denny? What would you port over?
What would I port over?
Yeah, what would you port from Star Wars?
Probably AT-ATs and AT-STs. Like, let's get those in the Imperial Guard like right away. That'd be pretty sick.
But like the equivalent is the Leviathan, right?
But the Leviathan is so much more boring than like an AT-AT.
Seems a bit more functional though. Like an AT-AT seems pretty vulnerable. You know, I mean, like for example, if you had like a good length of high tension cable, and you were able to just do a couple passes, hypothetically, just circle it a handful of times and lasso that big old steel puppy.
Someone took a land speeder, not a snow speeder, but a land speeder, and encircled the legs. Yeah, would it cause some damage? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. It's 40K, dude. There's probably spikes and shit on the front of those legs now. Yeah. So maybe it'll just cut right through.
I see. Maybe add some scythes. Add some scythes to it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like slide the wheels. It does some extra impact hits.
Yeah. D6 plus 1.
We have
That plus
in
1.
chat saying Marvel versus Capcom, but Star Wars versus 40K.
I mean, that's cooler. I think that's
I would
pretty-
play.
That's pretty
I
dope.
would
That's
play
actually
the
a good
shit.
idea.
That's
I would absolutely.
super pretty neat.
Why
Yeah.
don't we have like a fighting game like Marvel versus Capcom, but with 40K characters? That would be amazingly dope. Licensing team, get on it. Maybe,
A
please.
Warhammer fighting game. That's not a.
Yeah.
That seems pretty awesome. I don't know.
Like a Marvel versus Capcom, like over the top animated style. And you could have like Gulliman versus Mortarion. And like he has like a little puke attack. And then Mortarion's like, that's gross.
What?
And
Mortarion said that's gross?
yeah, dude, he hates it.
That's probably
anyway,
pretty gross.
Danny, this was another one you shared with me here.
Oh no.
Is that at the moment, what is the difference defensively between a Terminator at 30 points and a Custodes at 50? 1 toughness. I'm saying make it 1 more toughness and 2 extra wounds for the troops. This is comparable stats-wise to a Wolfguard battle leader stat-wise, except with an extra attack, higher leadership, and no buffing mechanic. This is the first time I've read this, by the way, so not comparable at all is what he's saying. If a Wiggable in Ta is 85 with a buffing effect worth about 25 to 30 points, it means we could have 5 wound Custode troops at 60 points per model and have them feel more elite for a minor price.
Not just feel, they will be more elite.
As for our Terminators, they need to feel different from other units. They should be tankier than a jet bike, and a jet bike should be tankier than a guy on foot. So if you don't want to add too much toughness, increase it by 1, add on some wounds. Maybe I overcooked the jet bikes, put them down to toughness 7 as well, but if Terminators have more wounds in them, Terminator Custode should be a movable slow brakes, jet bike should be a deadly speedy unit.
Okay.
So Danny, this message seems like it was written by the person who did the first balance pass of the Custodes Codex.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah,
So this is so we can put this so we can calibrate here correctly. Danny, if a Terminator were transported to the old world, what toughness would it be?
Ooh, great question.
Oh,
A custodian, I would say. A Custodes.
Oh, a custodian.
Yes.
Like a custodian Terminator or a normal Terminator? Because this guy thinks the custodian Terminator should be toughness 6.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So a custodian Terminator. Now you just take that concept, that model, you drop it in the old world.
Toughness 5.
What?
can I ask a question?
Agreed.
What was the toughness of like the Chaos Dwarf Bull thingy?
Maybe 4.
Because I
The
feel
bull
they're
thing?
comparable.
Like
Like,
a
yeah,
like-
the Centaur.
The Great Taurus or the bull?
Yeah,
Centaur?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
Bale
the one that was
was
like half
T5.
dwarf. Yeah. That seems to me to be an equivalent to a Custode.
Yeah, the bull centaur is T5.
Yeah.
So I'm out of this conversation now.
Yeah,
I just wanted to know. It's like
yeah.
that.
This guy's ridiculous. What? I mean, without saying that this guy is, a bitch or this is a stupid concept. I'm not saying those
Maybe-
things. It's really important
No.
for me to say that.
Not
Is-
calling you a bitch per se, you're speaking like a bitch. Like that's
Whoa.
the difference, right?
Well, guys.
Where
Look.
this guy's having a bitch. I don't know. What is what? Why?
I think
Why?
so. My read on it, kind of
Uh-huh.
going in blind here and reading it, is very excited about the new edition.
Yeah.
Very excited about the new Terminator models coming in. Wants to make sure that his super special boys are still super special, and then just has a vomitous stream of consciousness onto a post that he did not read twice before hitting send.
John, I will shit my pants on air if Custodes are toughness 6.
Do you
Vicky,
think-
did you get that timestamp?
So is the issue? So the issue here, obviously, I think, is the same as like this is just standard inflation, right? Like this is just
Yeah.
literally just inflation. So because like for whatever reason, nothing can be toughness 2, and like it's got to start at toughness 3, and then
aren't Nurglings toughness too?
That's
well,
true.
very few things. Grots are toughness 2. Like there's
No,
probably-
Grots are T3 now.
Oh, they are T3.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
strong boys.
Regardless, like I just feel like they're probably just bunched up. Like if you were to like scatter plot like all the different toughnesses assigned to models in Warhammer, I would be really curious to see what that curve looked like. And I would bet that like a lot of like there's just a lot of bunching up now in the like right in the middle, and there's like not a
I
ton
bet
of
there's
stuff
like
at the lower end.
there's a ton of stuff at 3 and 4.
Mhm.
A little bit like less stuff at 5, even less stuff at 6, and then a bunch more stuff at 7. And then like there's a scattering of T8, and then there's like 4 things that are T9.
Kill a strong
Yeah.
point. Booyah. That's another weird thing. Why don't they use toughness 9?
Well, that's part of the plan for this new edition. Actually,
Yeah.
they've said that that's a stated goal, is to kind of mix up the toughness values a lot. So
I was hoping that they were hinting at them going beyond toughness 10.
they are.
They are?
They are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they said T11 on at least one thing in a codex on release. So
So
yeah,
that
hopefully that's not a Warlord Titan.
I mean, I
Or a
yeah.
Castellan knight.
I think a lot of the I think a lot of the game design problems that Games Workshop has with 40K, and I think it will remain this way by the looks of it, but we'll see, is that they're like a game should not be 2,000 points. I don't think. I think like a game should be 10,000 points or 20,000 points, and that give themselves some fidelity. Like a base model needs to be inflated massively so that they can get like enough separation between units
Sure.
from
Yeah.
points.
You know, that's something
question-
that the Ninth Age did for Warhammer Fantasy is they inflated the points by 2. So they had 5,000 point armies and then doubled the points on anything. So that gives them a little bit more flexibility.
I did not know that they had done that.
And I think War Machine did that at one point as well. But I think more granularity is important. I think that
But-
probably gives you a little bit better spread for how good something is.
And then I think the reason I was also alluding to that is that doing that on the toughness scale is massive as well. Especially like it looks like they're going to be using crits and glances or whatever, like different kinds of like wounding attacks. And then I'll be interested to see if you still have a similar wounding mechanic as you did in 8th and 9th, or is it completely different? Do we know
Sure.
that yet?
No.
Yeah, who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Because that's a very
there's a
elegant thing
question
that
in
could
chat
scale
here.
very, very high. But sorry.
Mhm.
There's a question in chat here. I assume that this is a Warhammer Fantasy question, or I'm actually just genuinely terrible at 40K. Radio Free Armageddon is asking, where are we here? So would Stormtroopers have a 5 or 6 ballistic skill?
Probably 5. I think 5 plus ballistic skill is fine.
Ooh, that means they hit on a 2, right? I remember that now.
No, that's you're thinking the wrong way. They're thinking ballistic skill is a number you have to roll.
No, then never mind. Yeah, I'm terrible at this game, and I don't know fantasy. He continued though, Danny, the same person I would assume when you sent me the message for his takes on Custodes in 10th edition.
Oh,
He says, "Here's how to 10th Custodes.
yeah.
All Custodes infantry get 5 wounds a pop. Wardens get 6 wounds. All
Oh.
Terminators get 7 wounds and toughness 7, because I like it when Terminators are the same as my knights.
Yeah.
Custodes get a 4+ invuln. Shields go back to being a 3+ invuln, because there's been no problems with 3+ invulnerable saves in the game before. Bikes go to 6 wounds, toughness 8. Sorry. And then Vanatari keep their 3+ save, but go to 6 wounds.
This is
Again,
actually the first post. This is what he initially proposed.
was
and then
just
the
the
second
first
one
post?
was his comment. Yeah.
What a bad.
Oh, okay. Because for me, I'm reading this and I'm like, I know I just like qualified it by saying I'm terrible at the game, but these are kind of my takes on how to improve an army I want to play.
Make your jet bikes toughness 8. Yeah, I think that's a pretty smart call. Seems pretty good.
Seems pretty fair. I mean, obviously, a small man on a hovering little like go board is the same tougher than my giant killing machine knight.
Exactly.
That seems absolutely perfect.
Seems legit to me.
Terrible takes. Hey guys, we have more terrible takes though.
Oh, great.
I'm
So
still
we
I'm
have
just,
here-
I'm just like,
Yeah.
tripping
Go.
balls thinking about different approaches to toughness. Like what if you use like is there any downside to using like having a lot more models like T1 and 2? What if a guardsman was T2 and like just a rate like and like the like tiniest thing in the universe was 1? And then like
You
a
know,
space marine is T3. Like does this make a difference? Like is this just like literally because we've anchored our like perception of those stats. Like game wise, I don't think it would matter, right?
I think our perception is 4 is good, and anything less than 4 is bad.
Right. Like, but like, is
Because
it
it's
is it
above
just
average,
that?
right? Like 3 is supposed to
Mhm.
be the average of, but it's really just the
Dude.
weakest toughness in the game, pretty much.
Yeah, but you
So why
really
isn't
just
it
need
1?
4. 4 is good for it. Well, because 4 is all you need. 1 is too little.
Yeah.
4.
God,
4.
I am trying to
Exactly
spark a thought experiment. Is there like no reason why like the base toughness shouldn't be 2 or 1?
No, I don't have a problem with that. I think.
No.
Well, I mean, it should be 5, right? Shouldn't it be
Basic
in the middle?
toughness?
And
Shouldn't
medium out of 10.
toughness be in the middle?
Well, we're talking
Wouldn't
about
the average
we're
be
talking
in the
about a
middle?
world where like human beings walk alongside custodians or imperial titans, right? So
Yeah.
like, wouldn't like if you were tough, if you're just a person, your toughness 1, and then there's like a titan like that's 10 times more tough than you if they're
Yeah, but
toughness
do you
10.
take it as a direct like correlation? Like a Titan is 10 times tougher than a person?
I mean, I would imagine it's even more than that. But like that's what I
Toughness
mean.
100 when?
Well, T100, or at least like based on the way things are wounded now, 50 at least. Like you go to T50, I think. But
T50.
anyway, well, I just wonder, like,
But-
is there like a game mechanic constraint that says that we can't have really low toughness people, or is it just that they set their
think
curve
it's
kind of in the middle?
The auto wounds on 6s, I think, screws that up. Because everything auto wounds on 6s, so it doesn't matter what your toughness is, right? So if anything is average toughness 2, like, and then then you're moving into the strength of the guns and the granularity
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, you'd have to do that
And
too.
then that just makes it super complicated.
Why? Well, you'd have to just rescale it all. You just just bump it all down.
God, I
Or-
hope there's a time where there's a bunch of indexes coming up where you can just reset everything and hope for the best. Fingers crossed.
Nope, just codexes, John, one at a time until they're all
Damn
out
it.
in 2 years. Aren't you
And then-
excited about that again?
11th edition. I can't wait. But guys, moving on here. By the way, great discussion. Thank you. Sorry, I keep trying to interrupt it with more bad takes. But this guy here says this past weekend, games woke shit
Oh,
continued the tradition of being the world's top miniatures painting competition, lulz, by promoting mediocrity over exceptionalism. Me thinks he came fourth, by the way. The game's woke shit standard being displayed in the most bland and basic way possible is now the best the world has to offer. This is yet another extremely uninspiring display from the USA wargaming community. Shout out to all the UK and European hobby kings and queens.
Is this real? Is this a real message written by a real
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I'm pretty
is.
sure I know exactly who this person is.
Who came over to steal all your undeserved trophies. Almost every single model displaying extreme creativity that I really enjoyed as a UK European painter. As per usual, get good, USA. For a second year in a row, the USA Slayer Sword has been an extremely unambitious, uninspiring, mediocre display of basic, safe hobbying staples,
Jesus.
painted to the standard acceptable style, boring and easily forgettable. Moving on. Dickie, pull up the next slide here so we can see this boring and unoriginal final model. This would be the boring, terrible model that they did, which is
So good.
Yeah.
a phenomenally painted Dark Angels that's character, right, Danny?
Yeah, it's Master Lazarus. So he's actually a special character for Dark Angels.
Which has like the proper light reflection from a single point that isn't anywhere on the model as a special base. The work on the candle even is fantastic. That's phenomenal, but that not good enough.
Dude, look at this.
that
Look at
is-
this. Look at his shield, like the pauldron shield that he has stuck on there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
It's
guy
like-
spent. It's like what?
Oh no, it's just unbelievable.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
like.
guy spent more time painting that pauldron than I did my entire army for any army that I own.
I was going to say that I feel like the edging on the base looks a little forced. I like a more of a natural edge on my base.
It was Val. Val wrote the post.
I'm glad we turned it off because like that guy, like that was that doesn't seem like something a serious, like a person who is literate and able to like spell words that doesn't feel like something that a real actual serious person would write in like serious, in a serious, it feels very trollsy. It feels not real. Who talks like
Um,
that? As an Onion
also,
article.
That dude who painted his nights up to be like Monster Energy drink, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen his
also,
stuff? He posts like this all the fucking time.
He added onto this. I'm going to continue. Also, if the gold-winning Knight Titan is all it takes to win gold in the vehicle category, then literally any tabletop standard fully painted Knight Titan could potentially win, or at the very least, one of those dumb shiny participant pins. And then if you want to go to the slide after that, we'll see this awful Knight Titan, which is terrible. Oh no, it's perfectly done.
Jesus.
Oh god, it's just non-metallic metal and perfect blending on the blues everywhere. I don't know what to do. If that is basic tabletop quality, god, I'm shit. God, I'm so shit. I'm just gonna throw all of my knights away. Danny, Val, this person, assuming it's not just a trolley person, this has to be the shittest take I've ever read in the 2 years we've done this show. Yeah. Is this just someone who entered their best model and was surprised when they came 40th out of 300?
Like
Oh, that one. Oh.
the word and language choices. I just can't believe someone, without making fun of like the cartoon of someone who talks like that. So not even like, I just don't, maybe I don't live in this. I just don't recognize that as possibly someone saying Wokistan more than once in like the span of a paragraph is just that's what's impressive. I just can't believe that's real. Like I can't believe someone would
spent
feel
too much time on
hold on a
Reddit
second.
to-
I need to write this again. I don't think they got my point the first time.
He does finish up. I don't know if it's male or female. I'm assuming it's male because this is a Warhammer show. But he does finish up by saying, please leave only your most offensive hot takes and honest opinions in the comments below. I'm tired of all these mealy-mouthed, unconditional, super extra nice support. Let's be honest.
That's trolling.
Danny, is he trolling?
I mean, I just think this guy's a piece of shit. So whatever. You can quote
I
me.
mean,
on
they're
that.
not mutually exclusive. You can be a piece of shit and troll.
Oh yeah, that's
I
true.
know. I know.
I mean,
That's
obviously, he's
something
trying to
I
get a
understand.
reaction out of people, but I just think
Yeah.
Asked for one. Asked for one.
Yeah.
What though? Okay, then what is your most offensive hot take and honest opinion? That won't get us kicked off of a network or canceled.
Like from me personally?
Yeah.
About Golden Demon?
About the game of Warhammer.
Oh.
Old or new.
Man, I've been roasting them all day. I think having one person stores is absurd. The scale's all off. They killed my favorite part of it in Warhammer Fantasy. I mean, like, it's just I don't know. I'm a hot take machine on this all show. My record stands for itself, Danny.
It's true.
What's your take, Danny?
My hottest take probably has to do with some posts made by various individuals on the internet that I called bitch-esque takes, or
a little bat action.
Or like ideas that are just a lot of bad ideas that you see.
Bad ideas.
I don't know. People need to know that their ideas are bad. It's important.
That's fair. It's fair. And you were very quick to tell me when my ideas are bad.
Dude, I do my best. I don't want you to be embarrassed, John.
We all need somebody like that.
That's fair. We're gonna skip ahead. Let me see. We're 3 slides from the ass. We're gonna move past the pretty pink dreadnought to the slide above for one more terrible take before we kick it down the road for another 6 days. I think, Danny, this was another one of yours this week. This is like the greatest hits of like Chud
Dang,
Lords
I
that
did
you
good this
found.
week, didn't I?
But he says, how to play against the low IQ. Hi, folks. I started gaming at a new shop recently. Problem is, I've noticed some of the regulars have a depressed intelligence level, at least in terms of wargaming. I play beasts, and I drove a Morithai player nearly to tears with pure tactics. As an aside, it's not pure tactics. It's you're a massive asshole, and they just didn't want to be around you anymore. But anyway, another time, I swung my reinforced Beastigores around on the Gloomspite player and flanked his whole force, leaving nothing alive. I asked around afterward if those two players were known to be slow, but didn't get a solid answer. Felt like could you imagine going to a new game store and be like, hey, are these guys just like super dumb and slow? Why aren't you giving me an answer? Felt like the store owner had a chip on his shoulder the way I stomped his regulars. Or maybe you're just asking why his regulars are all super dumb mentally. And that would probably give him a chip on the shoulder too. I didn't engage in much chit chat with them. As I could tell, we wouldn't relate. I've penciled on a trip back to the shop this Thursday evening for open night. Any thoughts on
He's going back? Why is he going back?
any thoughts on how I can play a normal game with people just like this without just throwing it? So Danny, he's asking a serious question here.
Yeah.
How can I play a normal game with people like this without just throwing it?
Well,
I
with
have
this
an answer,
guy's
but I wanna hear
super
your
genius
thoughts,
level
too.
intellect, clearly he should probably just maybe try playing with half the points.
Yeah.
Gotta
if his
handicap
opponents
yourself.
are-
Yeah, I feel like that's
That's just throwing it. That would just be throwing
Well,
it.
but you can have a fun game like that. That's not throwing them the game.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try and win. If you only need your Bestigors to flank their entire Gloomspate army and win,
maybe next
that's
time
all you
just
need to
bring Goodagors.
just don't bring Bestigors. Just bring your Goodagors.
Just bring those.
Excellent joke.
That's a
I
good joke.
just got that. That was really good. My professional advice, if I can share this here.
And, 1 second.
Adding,
I just want to.
go.
Can you just quickly review what did he make his opponent cry? Was it that he made him cry with tactics? What was the exact phrasing in that first sentence?
Pure
I
tactics.
played- I played beasts and I drove a Morithai player nearly to tears.
Nearly to
with
tears.
Pure
With
tactics.
pure tactics. That's some strong tactics. I apologize to rest my case on that one.
Dude,
Over to you, John.
Kim in chat has already guessed my advice for him, by the way. He says, how can I play a normal game with people like this without just throwing it? My advice, and it's going to get real serious here, like off with the glasses.
Oh,
Stop
hold
playing.
on, guys. Glasses are off. This is serious. Listen up.
Stop playing. No one wants to play with you. You're a terrible person. Let's go, like going back through the thing here. Some of the regulars have a depressed intelligence level. My brother in Christ. You're a cop. I drove a Morithai player nearly to tears with pure tactics. Brother, that's not tactics. That's you being a terrible
emotional
person to be around.
Yeah.
That's emotional abuse. And some you can be removed from your house for doing that. Another time you swung reinforced Beastigors around on a Gloomspite player and flanked his whole force, leaving nothing alive. Yeah, that's what Beastigors do. But asking like
Your flanks.
okay.
Yeah, no, right?
So
He's out there playing
You're-
chess. They were actually playing checkers.
so Danny, you're a regular GT and tournament player. After a game, is the first thing you do go and find a judge and be like, hey, judge, are those guys mentally handicapped? Because I won pretty easily.
Not every game, John, but
When you come back up for the summer, you will.
yeah. I'm gonna ask our local TOA. Is that guy a little slow?
Yeah. Stop playing Warhammer. Like I know they had this thing come out where it's like Warhammer is for everyone. That's not true. Now this entire post has
It's
had
just
an
not for this guy,
asterisk.
please.
It's added an asterisk to the Warhammer's for everyone lore, where it's Warhammer's not for you, because Warhammer is a 2-player game where 2 people enjoy an experience together. Not
What
one
if you're
person
not
treats you-
capable of abstract thought? I mean, it's gonna be.
Well,
What if
I
you're
was going to say it's a
developmentally
2-player
disabled?
game. It's not one player treats the other like their dad treated them. That's not what's going to happen at the table. Wait, I can do this. The thing.
Amazing, John. Thank you.
Put them on.
Hot takes. Hot takes.
I'm glad you
That's
didn't
great.
just
My hot take.
tremendously injure your eye doing that. I was very
I
pleased.
could have. Perfect.
Wow.
Guys, yeah.
This is
that
a
all
deep bench of crazy that
No.
you guys dipped into. I don't know
Dude,
what
Danny,
happened in the
you
2 weeks
found
I was
a
gone.
bunch of-
Lordy Lou. Get these people 10th. You know, I was down on 10th edition. These people can't come fast enough. These people are falling apart.
Well,
falling apart
we
at the
do-
seams out there.
We do have, I want to add in here real quick. There is one listener question or response I wanted to get to off of our last video. Off of our last episode, we did ask the question, what is one thing you would add to the lore that would not sort of affect the way the story is, but it would ruin a faction pretty much, right, Danny? And this person came in with this amazing comment. Dickie, when you're ready.
Wait, what one?
It is the one behind in front of the curtain. It's the small cutout
okay,
thing in
good.
front of the red curtain.
Yeah.
Woo, throw that up there. He said, white scars always start with training wheels.
Okay.
nice.
So in all of their bikes,
Now,
it starts with training wheels.
I don't know if you guys have seen what kids learn on these days, but I think it would even be a little bit better. It's just a bicycle with no pedals. So you just sort of
Oh
like
God, I
scoot,
hate those
you just sort of
bikes so much,
scoot,
yeah.
just sort of scoot
Yeah.
along, like pushing yourself along.
Power
Get that
scoot.
balance up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Guys, we're about to sign out. You got it. Anything else to add before we check out for the week?
I legitimately don't know what happened, but I do know something very serious happened in succession, and I need to find out, and I don't know how it hasn't been spoiled, and I'm nervous about it.
Chat, don't say anything about Succession. Danny, go. What did you got? What TV show are you not wanting spoiled by chat?
Oh, no, I'm pretty up to date. You guys can try and spoil stuff if you want. I don't care.
But just not Succession. Guys, we hope you enjoyed our discussions and insights into all things Warhammer.
So
I look forward to bringing you more hilarious and irreverent content in the future. We'll be back next Monday. There will be no random work emergencies calling me away 15 minutes before showtime. But remember to follow us. Go to www.grimafterdark.com for all of our links. Like, subscribe, watch the great shorts that Dickie's putting out. And until next time, stay safe, stay Warhammered, and remember, it's pretty grim after dark.
All right, boys, your mics are hot.
Dude, that guy's a chode. Not the person who
Michael
wrote
Bell,
it.
that's that guy's name. Oh, yeah, sorry. What?
That's Dad, Kelsey I.
sad.
We did
Steve
update
Adar.
this so people didn't have their last. So like
Tanner
Herbert,
chips in. Nice.
Tanner Herbert. We didn't put his last name in.
Tristram.
Want to know that Tanner
Thanks,
Herbert was there. Yeah.
I like how these names all fit inside the TV roughly.
Oh, yeah. I can
Yeah.
see how that would be
yeah.
super.
Not at all.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey, John Jay. Thanks,
John
man.
Jay, thanks.
Later,
Thanks,
John
John.
Jay. Yeah, good old John Jay.
New John Jay. You wasted money.
John Jacob Ladder.
Bye, guys.
Atomic Mass, send us stuff.
Yeah, please.